Okay, so hello everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Melanie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're not new and you stick around for all this madness, thank you. Hello, welcome back. As you guys saw from the title, I will be talking about how to get your money up if you're working a 9 to 5. I've worked both rotating schedule jobs and also 9 to 5 jobs, so I know both scenarios, but this is just specifically for 9 to 5. I mean, I guess you could do it with your rotating jobs too. But yeah, these are just tips that I've kind of had along the way of working in this world, and hopefully this will help you guys in narrowing down on what kind of jobs you want and how to make more bread, because you have to pay the bills and pay off your loans and all your debts, because I think it's like 90 something percent of Americans have debt. So I know if you're watching, you probably most likely in the near future will have some type of debt that you have to pay off. Just saying. Just saying. And I want to say too that this is just a good video overall if you're just looking for work, or if you've been looking for work and you don't really know how to narrow it down, or if you're trying to figure out how to get more monies. Okay, so I'm just looking at my phone because those are where my notes are, not because I'm getting distracted. So the first thing is, I think it's probably the most important thing before thinking about money, is you want to find a job that sparks joy, in the words of Marie Kondo, because there is no point of you in a job that makes, for example, 100K if you are miserable every day. Clearly you want something that brings some type of happiness and that will give you incentive to go to work and actually do the job correctly. But apart from that, because I think also there has to be a good balance, sometimes people pick jobs of happiness over the pay, so it'll be like really shitty pay but they really like the job. It all depends on you, but I just know that mama gotta pay the bills, so I need an equal balance of both. So definitely you want to look at something that sparks joy but also pays the bills. First thing is to negotiate your pay. So this is whether you've just got a job, you've been in the job for a while, or you're having a review soon. So for anyone that's pretty new to the job field, every time that you get a review, there usually is a raise or some type of incentive, like a bonus or something like that, depending on your performance. So this is where it is best to negotiate your pay, because you can come in with the facts. Usually you'll have a meeting and you'll know when the meeting is, so you can come in prepared with research facts on the average of how much your job pays, depending on your area. Also bring up all the great work that you've done and all the things that you've made for the company, and why you deserve the raise. So basically you're like saying, well, I did this and this and this. This is how much the average person makes with my job title, and this is why I deserve the raise. Even better than that, even before you get to that, if you just got a new job, negotiate. Like, the only thing that can go wrong with negotiating is just getting a no. And if you don't ask, you're not gonna get the money. You have to ask. I know it can be nerve-wracking. Trust me, I don't really like having to go back and forth with people on negotiations, and there's ways to do it too, where you don't want to seem demanding, but you also want to put your point across. And as women, definitely I can say that it's even harder for us to negotiate, because we just feel like we don't want to make the other person inconvenient in any way. So you have to push through all of that and negotiate. When you're negotiating for a new job, to make sure that again, you have all the facts. You know how much the average person is making around your region, all your values up there. You know, if you worked at that field for a certain amount of years, what kind of skill sets you have that can be beneficial for the company, longevity. If you've been at other companies for a really long time, it shows that you'll be in this company for a very long time, or you're more likely to, and they usually like people that stay long. Last point I would make is, if there was already a review and you didn't get a raise and you've been in the company for a while, you can always just schedule a meeting with your HR and see when exactly you can, when or how you can get a raise, and just again express your research. The more you know, the better prepared you'll be, the better prepared you'll be to negotiate. The second thing is to put in more hours, do more OT, which is overtime, if they allow you to. This can also lead, if you're doing very well at the job and you're putting in extra hours, to a higher position or a job title. And usually when you get a switch in job titles, you get some sort of raise. That's not always the case, but usually that's what will happen. And I will say, if you're not willing to negotiate with the current job that you have, where you're unhappy, or on the HR side, they're not willing to negotiate on your pay, be willing to leave. I know that this is not always convenient for most people. I'm not saying leave right away. Ideally, you want to have another job lined up before you leave, but be willing to leave if you want to make more money. The only way you'll be able to make more money in a job is if you either ask for it or you leave, or you get a higher position. Usually though, every time that you apply to a new job, and it's typically for a higher position that you would be applying for, you would be getting more pay. So I mean, it only makes sense to move up and leave a company. At the end of the day, you also have to think about, like, a company's not really loyal to you for the most part. Like, they can fire you at any time just cause. So you kind of have to think about it like that. If you're a little bit sensitive with the company, it's just like they could also just fire you or lay you off, and then you're asked out. So I'm not an expert on this. I only been really working for like 5-ish years, but I've worked since I was like 14, 15, so I do understand like how to negotiate pay and stuff like that. I wish I would have learned that sooner rather than later. I do also read a lot of Refinery 29 salary stories. I'll link it down below also, because they're great reads, especially for women of color, who the whole point of salary stories is to push women to negotiate more. And I definitely want that to also be a focus for my channel, is just to empower women and for women to be more willing to negotiate, because um, I think we're so easy to just write things off and not really negotiate or not get a new job because we're fearful. So let's not do that in 2020. Let's make more money. Let's get this bag, and let's do better, be better. And if you are looking for new work and you want to fix up your resume and do something a little bit more modern, I will leave all my information down below. I do have templates that I can send to you guys. The prices will be down below also. Or if you're lazy, and I know some of y'all over there are lazy and don't want to do resumes, don't want to fix their resume, or you're not lazy, you're just tired, and you don't have the time to do the resume, I am more than willing to do the resumes for you. Again, all the information will be down below. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope that this has helped tremendously, and I hope to see you soon.